like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Ooh, what's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Popcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's episode, we got quite a bit of Funko Pop announcements, especially if anyone had watched the Fun TV that was hosted by Mike Becker and CEO Brian Mariotti, which, some fire announcements there, but obviously we'll get to that. But we will kick off with What's the Haps, formerly known as Quentin Quarantino. And then we're going to recap Funko Virtual Con 3.0, all the way from what happened on Sunday up until Saturday. We will talk about the Funko Pop announcements for this week, which it started off slow, but really picked up when it was Friday, which those announcements will happen from, I think it's July 20th to the 25th. Unfortunately, it won't be until next week that we talk about the wrap up some fun holiday pop announcements, which started happening just before we press the record button. So we'll talk about those next week on what actually will be our 50th episode of a Funko Popcast. We have the return of our segment Poptistics, which obviously, if you're new to the podcast, we'll get to that when we get to that segment. And of course, to kind of main event it off, we have the top 10 Funko Pops of July 2020. I can't wait to hear MD's, and I'm sure MD can't wait to hear mine. Crazy month in July. So without further ado, What's the Haps, which is the segment where we talk about what games we played, TV shows we watch, or basically what we have been doing, what's been happening for the last week, which I should say, MD, what's the Haps?
Oh, man. Honestly, not a whole lot. Like I said on the last podcast, I am back at work, so that does take up a bit of my time. I'm actually working all the way till Saturday. All closing shifts too, which kind of sucks a little bit because closing can be a pain in the ass, especially when you do it every single night. But can't complain. I'm really happy to be back at work. Besides that, really the only game I've been playing is Pokemon Go. And Go Fest was this weekend. It's over now. And man, what a great experience it was. Obviously, for most people, it would be their first Go Fest experience because normally you have to go to the certain place where they're held. But of course, this year, anyone could do it as long as you pay for it, obviously. Amazing, honestly. So many shiny Pokemon, so many new Pokemon in my Pokedex, and I actually accomplished a goal that I set out for myself. I wanted to meet new people, and I did. I met these two guys. They're twins, so it was cool to meet them, and they seem like pretty solid guys. I've also been playing this other game on my phone called Dino Park. That's a really fun game. Not really going to get into it too much. Yeah, I really haven't been console gaming a whole lot, but I really haven't been watching movies either. I've been watching The Office here and there, but mostly just YouTube stuff because I've been just hooked on YouTube recently.
I started rewatching Umbrella Academy because the new season does drop on the 31st, which will actually be the day that everyone is listening to this podcast on. And just to let everyone know, we are recording this Monday, July 27th. So we are going to miss some Funko Pop announcements for the week, like I had mentioned. But of course, we have the update next week. But other than that, last night, I watched the Slender Men movie on Netflix because I had a bunch of movies on my list. I'm like, what do I want to watch? And I watched Slender Man, and it was it was legit probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. And
Really?
yeah, it was so bad. And I guess Rotten Tomatoes agreed with me because it was rated 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's how
Wow.
bad the movie was. It made me also think like, wow, there's a movie that has a less rating than Batman and Robin. Wow. Yeah, so I watched that. So it was like a big waste of time, but a movie I did really enjoy last night. And I think maybe either it's the first time in a long time or it's like the first time ever that I seen the TMNT movie that was made in 1990. That
Oh,
was
wow.
that was a pretty good movie. Other than that, the rest have been actually YouTube. So I have been watching Hot Ones, which for those that may not know, is the series with hot questions and even hotter wings. So basically it's just an interview style video where you eat chicken wings with different hot sauces and obviously they get hotter I haven't really watched every episode. I've watched the ones that really like interest me, and that's about it. But it's still a cool series. And a video I've now watched twice because it's awesome. So speaking of, last week we had announced that our next fandom related podcast is on Scott Pilgrim versus the World. But on YouTube, they had released kind of like a live table read of Scott Pilgrim versus the World in honor of the 10th anniversary, where it was a Zoom chat like we're doing right now, except with like 20 people. They had basically all the actors and actresses and like the producers involved. So you had like Michael Cera in there. You had Aubrey Plaza, who played Julie. And then basically everyone was there. Even Chris Evans was there, which I was surprised that Chris Evans was a part of this. Brie Larson wasn't there. The guy who did Wallace wasn't there. And the guy who played young Neil wasn't there, from what I remember. But the part that just like huge mark out moment was at the scene where it's Matthew Patel's scene. He actually busts out his Funko Pop from the 2-pack and starts waving it around during the table read, and it was so good. I popped huge for that. So I guess we'll move on now to the recap of Funko Virtual Con 3.0. So obviously, Funko had Virtual Con last week, and they did like a week-long event starting from Sunday all the way until Saturday of different things. So starting on Sunday, for those that may not know, Funko and eBay joined forces to do a charity auction. They had auctioned off a bunch of prototypes for like sodas, pop vinyls, and even they had, I think, the 1,500 piece glow-in-the-dark Loch Ness monster from Emerald City Comic Con they were auctioning off. So everything was being donated to charity, which was really cool. Then on Monday, Funko had released a bunch of videos of basically the artist team over at Funko showing how the sculpts were made for each of the San Diego Comic-Con characters. So one of them I remember watching was through the computer and all that, of like how they made Yzma the cat. So they show the process of everything that was going on with what pieces went where and the colors. And it's kind of like a time lapse they did of that, which is really cool. Tuesday was simply a day where you post photos on social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You had to use the hashtag FunkoVirtualCon and tag them at Original Funko on what brought you to VirtualCon. And then Wednesday at, I think it was 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Sully, that's right, Sully, originally from Funko, did an unboxing live stream. He showed off a bunch of the pops for San Diego Comic-Con, and one of them was the scented Brian Fantana from Anchorman. And he basically confirmed that it 100% smells like pure gasoline. So it is great to hear that it smells disgusting. And also later on, which is weird because usually Funko drops pops at, I think it's 10 a.m. Eastern for con exclusives, but this time they dropped them at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is really super late. And it was just a disaster. It was the same thing as the Dwight Pop. It was just this big loading screen. They closed the website an hour prior to do a system where they are trying to take the bots away. But that clearly didn't work because the system they used was that stupid CAPTCHA thing that every website uses, where it's like, are you a robot? And then you click the checkbox. And then it asks you like, all right, click every picture that has a sidewalk. And it's like, every website has that. It's nothing special. You literally have been hyping for 3 weeks since the Dwight Pop, which also re-released with the San Diego Comic-Con Pops, by the way, that you're getting a better system to defeat all these bots, so to speak, but it just didn't work. Everyone was in checkout, and then there's the stupid spinner thing, and by the time you got to checkout, the pops you wanted would have been sold out. And then Thursday was when shared retailers pops came out. So different stores, they had the pops. I went out Funko Pop hunting, obviously. MD was working, so unfortunately he couldn't come with me. But it's funny because I was waiting in the EB Games line, and a person actually recognized me from our videos. They were like, I watch your videos. You got cool videos. And I thought that was pretty cool. At first, I thought maybe he was mixing me up with Top Pops, which obviously would have been a little flattering. But at the same time, I think we also mentioned about Top Pops after, because it just so happens, actually, while I was waiting at EB Games, in that same plaza where I was at for EB Games, there's a Chapters. And Top Pops and his mom were at that Chapters going to get that Harry Potter pop that never launched at Chapters when it was supposed to, Chapter/Indigo. And Toys R Us were supposed to drop the Pops live at 12 a.m. EST. That never happened. They were supposed to drop them at 3 a.m. EST after that because someone said that on Instagram. That never happened. So to this day, as we record this, from what I last seen, Toys R Us still has not dropped their exclusive Pops yet, which really ticks me off because I wanted that Marty checking his watch. And I was going to get MD and our good buddy Robbie D over at Funko Pop Monthly, the flocked Mewtwo. But that never happened. So all I ended up doing was going to EB Games, which obviously you guys would have seen in Monday's video. Obviously, if you haven't seen that, tune into that video, put a little suggestion thingy above. Overall, I found the whole experience probably one of the worst experiences ever for a Comic-Con, and I think everyone can agree with me on that. So hopefully, New York Comic-Con, which happens in October, will go out more smoothly. But other than that, Friday was obviously Fun TV with Mike Becker, who used to own Funko, and then you got Brian Mariotti, the CEO of Funko. They basically announced a bunch of sneak peeks, including Funko Pops, which we will mention later on. Sully did a live stream with a bunch of giveaways that include a bunch of ad icon wacky wobblers that were signed by Mike Becker and Brian Mariotti. Also with some cool prototypes like the Into the Spider-Verse 10-inch green goblin. That was just a nice green prototype that they were giving away. But unfortunately, the only way that you were able to win the giveaway is if you were a US resident and you had a Twitch account. And then Saturday was basically, it's almost the same thing like Tuesday where you go online, use the hashtag FunkoVirtualCon and at Original Funko, tag them with that. But what you had gotten during San Diego Comic-Con and what you had ordered and stuff. All right, so now I guess it's now time to move on to the Funko Pop announcements, kicking off on Monday, July 20th. Box Lunch had announced their own exclusive Funko Pop of an Eat the Universe Spider-Man, which this is available for pre-order now, but is expected to release as early as August 2020. Then announced on July 21st, Target had announced 2 exclusive pops of their own. One of them is the Galaxy's Edge R5 unit, also known as M5R3 from Star Wars. And then we have a Diamond Collection Energizer Bunny. Both of those will be released as early as August 2020. Then we go to July 24th during Fun TV. We had a bunch of announcements then, kicking off announcements that we have been waiting for years, and that is the McDonald's Funko Pops, which it's unknown of when these Pops are going to be released because Brian Mariotti did not say anything about when they're getting released, which seems like a typical Funko thing to not say when they're getting released. But anyways, we have the McDonald's lineup, which we have Ronald McDonald, Grimace, Hamburglar, Mayor McCheese, Officer Big Mac, and a 5-pack involving all 5 of those that will be a shared exclusive to both the Funko Shop and McDonald's restaurants. Followed by, we have Disney 65th Anniversary Pops, which we have ourselves Matterhorn Mickey Mouse, Matterhorn Donald Duck, and a Pop Rides of Donald on the Matterhorn. And then we have here what looks to be Disney characters on pieces of trains, which I don't know exactly through this photo whether it's going to be the only 3 separate pops and then you got like a 6-pack, but I will name all the characters that are on the trains, whether it's going to be separate pops that you end up connecting together or it's a 6-pack. So we got ourselves on trains. We got Minnie Mouse, which will be an Amazon exclusive, Dumbo, Pluto, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and Donald Duck, which it seems like all those are going to be commons except Minnie Mouse. Like I said, that'll be Amazon. And then we got ourselves Alice in Wonderland Pops, which we have a new variant of Cheshire Cat, Alice, and we have a Mad Hatter at the Mad Tea Party Pop Rides that will be exclusive to Target. Then we move on to a super exciting announcement of Retro Toys. So first off, we got ourselves Cavity Sam from Operation. Then from G.I. Joe, we have Shipwreck and Zartan. Stretch Armstrong, which has a normal variant and a 1-in-6 chase variant of his arms basically stretched out. Glowworm, Mr. Potato Head, classic Transformer Pops, which the 2 we have so far are Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. 2 variants of Mr. Monopoly Man, which one is a get out of jail free card version, and we got a second prize, Mr. Monopoly Man. Mrs. White and Mr. Green from Clue. 2 variants of Popples, a Mrs. Potato Head and Furby. And then we have ourselves announced on the same day, Alien Remix Pops, finally confirmed by Funko. We have the Alien Remix Pops, which were also showed off on Fun TV. We have Alien as Buzz Lightyear, Dory, Russell, Doug, Carl, Zurg, Bullseye, and Dot, with exclusive pops, which one of them we had already mentioned a few weeks ago, which is the metallic Zurg that's exclusive to Hot Topic, and a flocked Doug that'll be exclusive to Target. And last but not least, we have a 10-inch common variant of Alien as Woody. And then we got ourselves announced on Saturday, July 25th. We have ourselves Joe Coy for the Pop Comedians lineup, which this is available for pre-order now. And I'm not sure when it releases, but you can either get the pop itself, you can get the t-shirt by itself, or you can do a signed bundle where you can get the pop that is signed with the t-shirt for a certain price. I can't remember. It might be 80 US if I'm not mistaken. Then we got ourselves a new variant of Gabriel Iglesias, which has his dogs, which will once again be a Fluffy.com exclusive, which this is available now to purchase. And then last but not least, we have the 5th of 6 Avengers Assembles Pops, which we have Black Widow here, and this will be exclusive to Amazon. And this will be available for pre-order now, but is expected to release as early as September 2020. All right, so I guess I'll kick off with the Eat the Universe Spider-Man pop, which I love this pop, honestly. I think this looks really cool. I love the shirt where it says, I love pie, and it's even got a pizza with the slice taken out of it and like the pie logo. This Spider-Man with the pizza gives me hopes that we'll get something similar to this with potential Sam Raimi Spider-Man pops that will most likely release in 2022 because of the 20th anniversary of the movie. Then we got the Galaxy's Edge droid. I forget his name already. I think it's M5R3 or something like that. Does look all right from the photo I'm looking at. It's more of a concept art, but I know glams were released. It's not my cup of tea, but I'm sure quite a bit of Star Wars fans like it. The Diamond Collection Energizer Bunny. I'm not surprised that they're starting to release a bunch of different variants for ad icons. They already did it for Chester Cheetah last year with the Diamond Collection, and they did a glow-in-the-dark one this year for TargetCon. So don't be surprised when there's a glow-in-the-dark Energizer Bunny at some point, either by the end of 2020 or early 2021. The McDonald's Pops are wicked. Finally, we've been waiting for this for such a long time, and I kind of find it cool, but a little frustrating that it'll be Funko Shop and McDonald's restaurants shared for the 5-pack, because I feel both of those is just going to be ridiculous to get. Like, first of all, I'm more than certain that they're probably just going to be McDonald's restaurants in the US because, let's face it, Funko hates Canada. So there's no way I'm going to walk into my local McDonald's and there's going to be a 5-pack of McDonald's Pops. It would be wicked, but I highly doubt that's going to happen in Canada. But all these Pops, they look awesome. Mayor McCheese looks good. I really love the way they did Hamburglar. Grimace looks amazing in pop form, and especially Ronald. Ronald looks awesome, and I'm going to say this right now, and I've been saying this for a while, that guaranteed, the moment that Ronald McDonald hits the shelves, it will be the top-selling ad icon in Funko history. And I don't think any ad icon is going to outsell this pop. That's my little prediction there. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to get both the single pops and the 5-pack. The Matterhorn Disney Pops. I kind of like the way that Donald looks for this Matterhorn Pop Rides. I think he looks really cool, and I like the colors that are involved with it. And the single pops are also cool too. This whole train set for Disney, this looks really cool, honestly. I think it's a really cool idea that they would do 6 separate pops with the piece of a train so that you buy 6 pops, and then when you take them out of box, you can actually connect the trains together. I actually won't be surprised, though, if they end up doing a 6-pack with these, and it'll be like a Disney Shop exclusive. Then we got the Alice in Wonderland Pops, which I find that the Alice Pop looks like it was already one that was made in like 2013, 2014, and they're just re-releasing it. I don't know what the significance of this one is. This Cheshire Cat, I don't know. I feel like we've already seen this color too. So I'm not really hyped about these Alice in Wonderland Pops. I know there's people who are probably hyping over that Mad Tea Party one because they've only done Alice and they've done Cheshire Cat. That was 2,000 pieces at WonderCon with the Mad Tea Party Pop Rides. Then we got ourselves retro toys, kicking off with Cavity Sam, which looks awesome for what it is. It's got the nose, it's got the mouth, it's even got the pieces for operation where it's like, all right, wishbone, I guess it is, right near the chest, and then like different pieces. G.I. Joe pops are all right. I'm not really a fan of G.I. Joe, so obviously I won't get these. I might get Cavity Sam. I'm not exactly sure yet. Stretch Armstrong, I am not surprised that they did like one variant and then it's like the chase that you actually want out of this, because why would you want Stretch Armstrong and not have his arms not stretched out? So I know a lot of people are going to want the chase. Glowworm, I'm curious on whether they're going to eventually make a glow in the dark Glowworm. Depending on when these released, maybe there's a glow in the dark variant that could be New York Comic Con. I don't know yet, but that could be a thing. And then we got Mr. Potato Head, which, holy crap, I'm excited about. I don't think I'm going to get this because now that they have the Hasbro license and they're doing these retro toys, I will wait until they re-release this with an orange nose and it's a part of the Toy Story lineup. And that will be the same with Mrs. Potato Head, where I think it's a different pair of shoes. Then we got the classic Transformers Pops, which Optimus Prime looks wicked. Bumblebee looks really weird in pop form with the pop eyes, but this is only concept art. I think that the Transformer Pops and all the Pops I'm going to talk about next, I think Brian Mariotti has said that those are slated for 2021 releases and not 2020. Then we got the Monopoly Pops, which, how coincidental is this? So for those that may not have seen, I did a history of Funko Pops video. Last Wednesday, I released a video, and during that video, I had mentioned that for the Pop board games lineup, we had 3 Monopoly Pops, and I had specifically said in that video that as of this recording, that there has not been any Pops made since for the Pop board games lineup, and then 2 days later, Brian Mariotti's like, all right, let's drop some more Monopoly Pops. So I kind of find it very coincidental. The Get Out of Jail Monopoly Man is so amazing. I love this pop, and I don't know if this is going to be exclusive to the Funko Shop or anything, or they're going to be commons. And then the second prize is all right, but like I popped huge for the Get Out of Jail Monopoly Man. I think that is such a cool variant of Monopoly Man. The Clue Pops, they're all right. I mean, I've never really played Clue. I've played it a few times, but I mean, it's not my cup of tea, so I won't get these. I have no idea what Popples are. I know some people were hyping for this. Mrs. Potato Head, which, like I said about Mr. Potato Head, I will wait until they do a re-release with like a different color. I think it's a pair of shoes this time for Mrs. Potato Head to be accurate to Toy Story, and that's when I'll get those. And Furby looks really weird with black eyes, but the overall detail of it is really cool because it's spot on of what Furbies looked like. And I remember, I think I owned a Furby if I'm not mistaken. Alien Remix Pops officially announced, so we can finally talk about these. All these are really cool in their own ways, especially because they all have different facial expressions that kind of go with the characters. I like any of the ones that are Toy Story. I love the idea of a flocked Doug. I think that's really smart on Funko's part. 10-inch Woody probably has to be my favorite one. We got Joe Coy, which I have no idea who Joe Coy is. I know a lot of people were hyping for Joe Coy. I think also people were complaining that, like, why is Joe Coy having his own Funko Pop before people like, I don't know, like Joe Rogan? Then we got Gabriel Iglesias. This Gabriel Iglesias is awesome. I like this one actually better than the original one, just because you kind of have a 3-for-1 deal for this one. You got 2 dogs in his hands, but I am a little worried if I see this in person that there's going to be quite a bit of them that has somewhat of a bad paint job as terms to the dogs. So hopefully they do a good job on the paint job for the dogs. And then we got the Avengers Assembles Pops, or Pop, I should say. This pop is all right. Once again, it's not one of the better pops for this set. I don't know what's on the base there, like behind her, but I can't wait for the last one to get announced, which obviously we know at this point it's Captain America.
Yeah, there's a lot of really great pops this month so far. This is crazy. So, starting off with the Spider-Man, this is pretty cool. I like how there's actually a lot of pretty cool detail on here, mostly regarding like that pizza box with kind of like the cheese and pepperoni kind of sliding out of it there, which is pretty cool pop, I guess. The droid from Star Wars, this actually has a lot of detail from this picture that we're seeing in regards to like scuffs and stuff like that on the actual metal. It looks really cool. Then we have the Diamond Collection Energizer Bunny. Not a huge fan of this. I'm actually getting more turned off to Diamond Collection as the years go by. I remember a couple of years ago, I thought Diamond Collection was so awesome. That's when there was like 3 Diamond Collection Pops. And now, as they just keep mass producing them, they're kind of just getting very boring and not as good as they used to be. It kind of made sense for the pops that they were Diamond Collectioning, I guess would be the word to say. It is what it is. Because we finally have McDonald's Pops. Oh my god, this is amazing. This is all I've wanted for years and years and years. And somehow I'm also disappointed. Disappointed because Funko Shop and disappointed because of McDonald's. When I heard that they were going to be at McDonald's stores, I instantly thought exactly what you said, where Canada's probably getting screwed over. Not only will we probably not get them in Canada, is my guess, but because they're going to McDonald's stores, people that are going there are going to buy these even if they're not fans of Funko, which really, really sucks because a lot of Funko fanatics have been wanting this for so long, and some people might not even be able to get their hands on them because new fans are going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll buy this. This is cool. Whereas the people who have actually been wanting them for years and years and years might not get the opportunity. We're moving on to the Disney Pops here. What is this ride called again?
Matterhorn.
The Matterhorn, yeah. This is cool. I believe this is what, the third Matterhorn pop ride now?
Yeah.
These are great. I really like these. I like the pose that Mickey has. It looks really, really cool. And their outfits look really, really great too. And the pop ride itself is pretty cool, I guess, as well. Then the train. I forget what this train's called. But these look really, really great. And having 6 of them to make up this huge train looks cool. I think it's a good idea that the Caboose Mini there is Amazon exclusive. If they were all commons, it would kind of make it just a little less special, I guess. Then the Alice in Wonderland pop. These are all right. I do agree with what you said about Alice. As soon as I seen this picture the other day, I was like, this looks like an old pop. Like the eyes look a little too big or something, and the face looks a little too small and round. But I really do like the Cheshire Cat. I really like that kind of paint colorway where it's like the dark purple instead of like more of a pink color. Then Cavity Sam. This is really cool. It's kind of weird though, because I don't think we've ever had like a pop vinyl or it's just someone completely naked. Kind of wish they would have went with more of like the board style, and his pop head is kind of like protruding from the board. The GI Joe pops, these are actually really cool. I know a lot of people are going to love these pops, but it's honestly not for me. Stretch Armstrong, these are awesome. I really, really want to get both of these, the common and the chase. It makes a lot of sense, obviously, to have them stretched out. The glowworm looks pretty awesome as well. Glad to see we're getting a glowworm pop. And yeah, why is it not glow in the dark? Hopefully we do get a glow in the dark one. The Mr. Potato Head. This is so awesome. Mr. Potato Head is one of my favorite toys of all time. Actually, on my first ever day of school in kindergarten, I cried when I had to leave school because I just wanted to keep playing with my Mr. Potato Head. So I really, really love this pop. The Transformers also look really, really great. I would agree that the Bumblebee kind of does look a little weird, especially because of his eyes, because Bumblebee normally has like pretty tiny, like thin blue eyes rather than these big blue ones. But the Optimus Prime does look amazing, so that is really, really good. Then the Get Out of Jail, Mr. Monopoly Man is so sweet. I think we really, really needed this instead of the kind of extra ones that we got. Like, I know the Walmart exclusive one was pretty cool, and I wanted that one for a while, but I do really, really want this Get Out of Jail one. And the second prize one is also pretty cool. We have Clue. These are pretty cool. I do really like Clue, but I wouldn't say that these characters are like super like iconic, I guess. Like they are and they aren't because there's so many characters in Clue. It's like which ones do you pick? I do agree on Mr. Green, I guess. He was kind of I guess my favorite while playing the game. The Popples are also pretty cool. I'm sure a lot of big fans of Popples probably popped huge for this because like I never would have thought of these as getting a Funko Pop, so it's pretty cool to see that. Then Mrs. Potato Head. I could see what you're saying about the Toy Story one. I think the shoes have to be
I think they're red.
red, and the hat is supposed to be white with the yellow flowers.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Mrs. Potato Head is pretty cool. Obviously, like I said, I love Mr. Potato Head. Also love Mrs. Potato Head. They go hand in hand. And then we have the Furby. This is so amazing. I love it. I don't know what you're talking about those black eyes. Don't look good. I think they look awesome. This is so accurate to a Furby, and because it's made out of plastic, it really, really reminds me of the McDonald's set of Furbies from back in the 90s, I believe. Moving on to the Alien remixes. By now, we kind of know my opinion on these. It's weird because they've already been released as Mattel toys, but now we're getting them in Funko style. But they're starting to grow on me, especially that 10-inch Woody is really, really good. I really like the metallic Zurg and the flocked Doug. I think those are really, really great. This set is really growing on me. I really do like it, but I probably won't get all of them. I'll probably get like maybe 3 at the max. Then we have Joe Coy. The pop looks good for a comedian pop. It looks like a good pose. The shirt actually looks really cool too. It's a pretty clean shirt, but I just don't know who this is. So honestly, it doesn't appeal to me. Then the new Gabriel Iglesias pop. Yeah, this one's pretty cool. You get both the dogs and then you get that iconic kind of shirt. I don't know which one I like better because I do have the original one and it is signed, so that's awesome. I don't think I'll get this one though, just because I don't think I need a second one. Let's see some more comedians. Then the Black Widow, obviously, we're kind of waiting for this one. We kind of know what's been and what's coming, so it's cool to see this one. It's weird to see, like, what is that behind the base? Is it like, it is all right, and I do hope that one day I can get all 6 of the Avengers Assemble Pops because I think they're just a great idea.
All right, guys. So before we now move on to our top 10 list, we have our quarterly segment known as Poptistics. So for those brand new to the podcast, Poptistics is a segment where I basically discuss these statistics based off of past top 10 lists. So you guys will get to know if there's more exclusives or commons between our lists. First one is that 59.2% of the time, a pop on our top 10 list will be exclusive pops. So more exclusive pops will show up on our top 10 list. 60% of the time, pops will be different from both mine and MD's list. So you'll see more pops that are different between our lists rather than having the same pops between our list each time. Then, out of the 360 pops that have been calculated for our list together, 64 out of 360 pops have been convention exclusive pops, while the second most is the Funko Shop with 32. 278 out of 360 pops are the usual 3.75-inch pops that you normally get, but the second most are Pop Deluxe with 16. 44 out of 360 pops come from both the animation and television lineup. So the most that have been on our list have been from Pop Animation or TV, with the second most being Marvel with 39. But now, without further ado, we are going to move on to our top 10 list, which let's start off with MD Shady, like usual, with his number 10 pick.
Number 10 is a pop that we've kind of seen before, but it is a new version, and that is the Go to Jail Mr. Monopoly. Such a great pop, so iconic. I love it.
All right, so number 10 on my list is Flareon from the Pokemon lineup. I think that Flareon is very well done in Funko Pop form, but I feel like the 9 pops above it have a little bit more detail and a little bit more hype added to it. So that's Flareon at number 10.
Number 9 on my list is the normal suit Ron Burgundy. I think that one is just the most iconic, and it is the only Ron Burgundy out of the 3 that I'm going to be getting, so I thought it deserved some kind of spot on the list. So number 9 it is.
All right, so number 9 on my list is from the Retro Toys lineup. It is Cavity Sam. I think Cavity Sam has quite a bit of detail to him, and there is quite a bit of hype with Cavity Sam, although a lot of the comments on the Fun TV posts were mainly about, like, wow, Fun TV, this was awesome, blah, blah, blah. Not really talking about the pops, but more of the segment of Fun TV. But there were quite a bit of comments on Cavity Sam, so I thought I'd put it right at number 9.
Moving on to number 8 is the Pop in a Box exclusive chip from Beauty and the Beast. The bubbles on this thing look so amazing. I can't wait to see what it looks like in person because just from this glam shot, they look so, like, realistic, I guess would be the best word.
So number 8 on my list is the Box Lunch exclusive Eat the Universe Spider-Man. I think this pop looks really cool for what it is. Got quite a bit of detail with just the shirt itself and even the pizza box with the pizza kind of flying out of the box mid-air. I think that's really cool. But I think the next 7 have a little bit more detail and there's quite a bit of hype with these next 7. So that's at number 8.
So number 7 is another pop that I knew had to make it somewhere on the list, and that is none other than the Amazon exclusive Flocked Chewbacca. This thing looks great. I'm a huge mark for Chewbacca, and I know that I will need to add this to my collection.
So number 7 on my list will be the first crossover of this top 10 list, and that is the Pop in a Box exclusive chip blowing bubbles. I think this thing has a crazy great amount of detail for what it is, especially how the bubbles kind of look translucent, which is really cool. I can't wait to see this in person, like MD had said. And just even the expression on Chip's face just makes up for the pop also in a lot more detail than the last 3 pops I had talked about. So yeah, number 7, Chip blowing bubbles.
Moving on to number 6 is the Chase version of Stretch Armstrong. I considered it to be the common at first, but I also really like the Chase, and I feel that because it's a Chase, it kind of makes it more sought after and kind of a cooler pop. Obviously, his biggest thing that he has going for him, I guess, is that he stretches, so why not have those arms stretch? One of the best chases we've seen so far this year.
All right, number 6 on my list is another crossover, and that is the San Diego Comic-Con shared with Funko Shop exclusive normal Ron Burgundy pop. Ron looks so awesome, and yeah, when I think of Ron Burgundy, I think of obviously that burgundy suit that he is wearing with his cup of coffee, and he just looks so awesome, and we've been waiting for Anchorman pops for such a while, so that definitely deserved to be on the list, and it was one of the most hyped pops of the month. So yeah, number 6, Ron Burgundy. We're moving on to top 5. Kick the music. Ooh. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Dig you, dig it, sucker!
All right, MD Shady's number 5.
Number 5, it is Vaporeon, my favorite evolution, and I think this pop looks great. So much detail. The head with the fins looks really good, and then the tail looks amazing as well.
I don't know what to say because my number 5 is also Vaporeon from Pokemon.
Ooh!
So it definitely deserved to be on the top 5 because 1, Pokemon, huge license, top 10 licenser, and that Vaporeon, I do agree, the best looking evolution. Like you said, it looks so nice with like the fin and just the whole sculpt of it is just so great. So yeah.
All right, number 4. Holy moly, this is also a great pop. Number 4 is the Furby. I really love this pop a lot. I've always loved Furbies, and I really hope we see some different color variants of the Furbies because I would collect all of them.
My number 4 is the San Diego Comic-Con shared with Target in the US and Toys R Us here in Canada exclusive Stan Lee from his cameo appearance in Iron Man. I think this pop looks so cool. It's definitely, in my opinion, the best Stan Lee pop they have done. And there's so much hype to it that I feel like it needed to make the top 10 list. So yeah, Stan Lee at number 4.
Number 3 on my list is the Absolute Carnage. This thing looks so amazing. The base on it is unreal. There's so much details. It's breathtaking. It's such a beautiful pop.
My number 3 is also the previews exclusive Absolute Carnage on Headstone Pop Deluxe. Detail. That's all I have to say for why it's in the top 3. Detail is nuts. It's definitely, in my opinion, like as terms of detail, the most detailed pop of the month of July. And it's one of the most detailed pops of the year. I can't wait to see this in person. I can't wait to obtain it because I do plan on getting this pop.
Number 2 for me, Mr. Potato Head. This is a great pop. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Mr. Potato Head. I have been my whole life, even to the amount of crying over it. And if I cannot find this pop in stores, I will cry over it.
My number 2 is the San Diego Comic-Con shared with Funko Shop exclusive Scented Brian Fantana. Man, this pop is awesome. There's so much hype towards it, and the majority of the Anchorman hype was towards the fact that you had a Brian Fantana pop, and it's scented, and the fact that it smells like pure gasoline, or in my perspective, it smells like the hand sanitizer at my local EB Games. Number 1, I think it's almost obvious of what number 1 will most likely be. Let's move on to MD Shady's number 1.
Yeah, so number 1, the Standing Popple. Such a great pop.
No, it's not.
It looks amazing.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's the McDonald's 5-pack. What are you talking about? Oh my god, this is awesome. The only thing that can get better about this 5-pack is more McDonald's pops. Let's see the Fry Kids. And most importantly, one of my favorite McDonald's characters, let's see Birdie. Where the hell is Birdie? I love Birdie. I can't wait to have this 5-pack. And it better come to Canada.
Number 1 is Ronald McDonald. I thought about putting the 5-pack in this slot also, but I just feel as terms to the sales of the pops, I mean, The 5-pack's going to be up there for the hardcore McDonald's fans who want all the mascots like yourself. But I feel in the perspective of the general public, you're going to want Ronald. There's going to be more sales of Ronald than there's going to be Grimace. There's going to be more than Hamburglar or anything. Ronald is going to be, like I said, the top selling Funko ad icon in history. Ronald McDonald had to be number one. The huge surprise element is why it reached to number one. A lot of people loved the McDonald's Pops. But anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you smash that like button to let us know that you're enjoying the content being provided to you guys on this channel. Comment in the comment section below on what your favorite pop was for the month of July. Was it McDonald's? Was it Anchorman? Let us know in the comment section below. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. Also, if you haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at a Funko Popcast. It will be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you all for listening to this podcast, and we hope to see you guys next week for our special 50th episode of a Funko Popcast. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Peace in, peace out.